What's up, everybody? Welcome into MLB DFS Live for Tuesday, August 18th. I'm your host, Ben Hustler, joined by Justin Bales. Bales, let's talk about the fact that we made the right call yesterday, played Tukey Toussaint instead of Ross Stripling, and we just got unlucky, man. Sometimes you just get unlucky. I talked about this in Discord, but I don't get mad when I get unlucky or like when it's something just doesn't work out. I get mad when I review things and I think I made a bad play. I don't think Tukey was a bad play at all. I didn't think he was a bad play even after he didn't have a great outing, and this was prior to Ross Stripling even starting. I was like, I'm still happy with everything, like his ownership, everything, uh, everything was good. But and then Stripling just proceeded like Tukey still outscored Stripling by like 10 or 11 on FanDuel, outscored him by a good bit on DK as well because he had negative. So obviously it didn't even matter. But that could have been a really big night for us if Tukey
Dude,
did like even 50% of what he could have.
I had Gallon did fantastic. I had the 5 stack of San Diego. I literally talked them up all day and then went with it. And I mean, Tukey happened.
It's just bad luck, man. Ben's 100% the kind of guy that swings at 3-0. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's the freaking major leagues. Just like, I mean, if you don't want someone to hit a home run, don't, you know, maybe you should just pitch better. I don't know what the issue is. My whole thing is how this is an unwritten rule that you don't do this when the Padres bullpen that good to where it's out of the realm of possibilities that a team could rally and score 7 runs in an inning on them. Like that could
No,
definitely
they,
happen. So what the game is not over.
no, they were the Padres bullpen. I don't know after last night, but I think before last night they were the third worst in the MLB in ERA, which obviously we know they're not the third worst. I get it.
Yeah.
But their ERA was third worst, I think.
Yeah,
So
like the game was not over. I don't understand like I don't understand the
no,
whole argument.
they got mad because Tatis is amazing, and he punked them twice in the same game. I mean, get over it.
Who should be
Like,
mad's White Sox fans, man, because they traded him for James Shields. I mean, how good would he look in that lineup, dude?
I mean, you can't really play him over Tim Anderson's the problem.
Yeah, dude, that lineup would be insane, man. If James Shields was not worth it at all. But all right, we'll get into today. We got a lot to talk about. Pitching is like the opposite of yesterday. Yesterday there was some cheap guys everyone liked. Today, it's very top heavy. There's not a ton going on at the bottom tier of pitching. Even guys like Dylan Cease, who I think are good plays, are overpriced or priced to their ceiling. So I don't know. Like I think it's very clear I'm spending up 2 spots today. Number one, Yu Darvish for me. I mean, this guy's just been unreal. If you take post All-Star break last season to now, been one of the best pitchers in baseball. Tons of swing and misses, tons of strikeouts. Not really scared of this Cardinals lineup. Like there are a lot of strikeouts in this Cardinals lineup, so I think he's clearly the best play. He'll be chalky, but it's worth it. I think that's good chalk because I think he's one of the best pitchers in the league. And then you have the trio of Carlos Carrasco, Kenta Maeda, and Blake Snell. I think all three of these guys are strong plays. Snell is the guy I really like in tournaments. Probably won't be playing him in cash games. I'm assuming he's going to get to 80 or so pitches today, so I'm not really worried about that. And I'm not really as worried about this lineup considering Stanton and Judge and DJ LeMahieu are out, and they do strike out a lot against lefties, but they do still have power. So it's enough for me to just knock him down to tournaments only. So then it kind of comes down to Kenta Maeda and Carlos Carrasco. I think I know which way I'm leaning, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Honestly, I'm 50-50 either way. I don't care that much. I think I'm leading Maeda slightly, just because it doesn't seem like Pittsburgh strikes out that much. Where I feel like Maeda can get him against Milwaukee, but truth be told, I don't care either way. Go ahead and play either one of them, and I'll back you on it. I don't know, because Carrasco's got much better strikeout stuff, but I don't know. What way are you leaning? Because I don't honestly, the two are the same to me.
Yeah, it's really close. So Milwaukee, that's a team I've targeted a ton this year. You know that. I mean, I don't think their offense is very good. They strike out a lot. I think Maeda, is good in terms of real life pitching, and the Twins are letting him throw more than he was allowed to in LA. So I think that's good. Carrasco, I like Carrasco. Obviously, I live in Ohio, so I've seen him pitch a lot. Pittsburgh, so they don't profile to strike out as much as Milwaukee, obviously, but they're also bottom 3 in WRC plus, ISO, pretty much every offensive category against right-handed pitching. They're at the bottom of the league. Like, they're not good. And I do remember Brandon Woodruff had a really big start against this Pirates offense earlier. Like, they did, so they can strike out because he had a monster start. It was a couple weeks ago, but I remember. Do you remember that he had like a 9 strikeout game against them? I'd have to check.
No,
But
I don't remember that.
I'm gonna look it up after we start talking. But it's really close. I don't know. I think I'm leaning Carrasco slightly, but I don't know. I feel like I like Maeda a little bit more. It's really close. I don't know. I'm probably not going to know what I'm going to do until later, but I think you're probably playing one of those two along with Darvish in cash games. Snell is then in tournaments. So then we have like this whole group of other guys. Like I said, Cease is overpriced in my opinion. I think he's a fine play, but I don't really want to go there. I think the other guy I have interest in is probably Nate Pearson if you want to get weird, just because he has the pedigree. This is one of the best pitching prospects in baseball. Hasn't looked MLB ready early on in his first couple outings, outside of that first start against Washington. But, I mean, anytime you have someone that can throw as hard as he can step up there, there's a chance that the opposing offense is going to struggle when they haven't seen him yet. And I think that, like, Baltimore's pesky, but if I'm going to take a shot on one of the cheaper guys, I think it's probably him. But I don't know if you have to do that today.
Yeah, I'll add 2 guys. Tony Gonsolin, I know he's 8,700. I don't really like that, but he does get a matchup against Seattle, which I don't really have any issues with, and we know that he comes with a lot of upside. Plus, I think he threw 80 pitches in his last game, and he could get extended a little bit more, so he could throw deeper into this one. And then lastly, Zach Eflin is only 6,900, and his strikeout stuff has been pretty electric so far this season. I have no problems with him whatsoever. He gets a matchup against Boston. If you don't know, Eflin is like a crazy splits pitcher where he just dominates right-handed batters and is terrible against lefties. But I think, honestly, that he's only 26, so I believe that it seems like he's figured it out a little bit more this season. We'll see when he gets more starts under his belt, but only really 2 lefties in Boston's lineup tonight that I'm scared of. So as long as he can navigate his way around those 2, I think he's going to be pretty solid.
Someone in chat said Peterson got scratched. Yeah, he was supposed to start for the Mets tonight. He got put on the injured list. So I just looked it up. July 29th, Brandon Woodruff went 6 1/3 against the Pirates, struck out 10. So it is in the tank. It is
possible.
in the tank. They can strike out against righties, and they're just not a good offense against righties anyway. So I don't know. It's close. I really just don't have a ton of interest here. I think on most of my teams today, I would be spending up. Like, I'm playing. If I was making 20 teams, I honestly think I would lock button Darvish, and then I would have some Snell for GPPs. I would have some Snell. I would have, some Pearson, and then a couple of Maeda or Carrasco. But I'm just like spending up today. I just don't have I think some of these guys are overpriced, and I just don't have a ton of interest in the other guys. Like Gonsolin, I think is fine on FanDuel. DraftKings, he's right there with Cease. Like, I just don't know why they're so expensive. I'm not going to play them at that price. I'd rather jump up one more tier and get to Snell, I think.
That's what I'm hoping other people think too. Though.
Yeah, that could happen. I don't see. I don't know. I could see Cease getting some ownership in cash. I haven't checked, but I'm assuming like that's probably going to be the computer play, like the people that use whatever like whatever optimizers or projections they use. I'm sure is probably going to like Cease just because he's up against the Tigers. So I could see him getting some ownership, but I haven't checked ownership projections in a minute.
Yeah, I think he will too, probably.
Yeah, so I like if you're telling me Cease is gonna be higher than Snell, I'm just playing Snell every time.
Fair.
Yeah, like I don't know, but you can do whatever you want in tournaments, really. If you guys have questions on any other pitchers, go ahead and ask. But I think it's a pretty straightforward pitching slate. We'll move on to stacks. Who are you looking at? I think the Dodgers are going to be right up there again, and then I think the Blue Jays are a really good one as well. That's probably my top two. There's some other ones we can talk about, but that's probably my top two.
Yeah, I like the Dodgers. I like the Blue Jays, and I like the Phillies. Those are more or less like the three that just really, really stick out. Outside of that, like I'll take my shot on the White Sox, and I have no problems with Atlanta. That basically rounds out my top five, though.
Yeah, Atlanta's right there. White Sox are always there. So speaking of that, yesterday, I feel like on the stream yesterday, outside of the two key thing, like I feel like we did a pretty good job. I think we were pretty much on everything. We talked about the Mets a little bit, who went off. Talked about the White Sox. I mean, I feel
Padres.
like yeah, obviously you were all over the Padres. Like I think we crushed it yesterday, if we're being honest here.
Yeah. No, I think we did really well too. Our lineups just got
Dude,
hurt by two keys.
Anthony once again. Anthony had a great FanDuel lineup yesterday. He had double dong from Tim Anderson. He had double dong from Nelson Cruz, and he had something else, and then he had Tukey. Like he cashed anyways, so it didn't matter. But if Tukey gets you like 30 FanDuel points instead of 9, I mean he would have just smashed again. It's so unlucky, man.
Yeah,
But
I
like,
know.
but think about it. So he outscored Stripling by how many points? Like if you would have told me he outscored Stripling by 10 points before the slate, I would have been like, "Oh, I'm all in."
Oh, cool. He scored 30 or 40.
Yeah. That's what you would have thought, right? You would have thought he dropped a massive game, right?
Yeah.
All right, we'll get to the positions. If you guys have any other stacks you want to talk about, drop them in chat, and we will address them. Catcher, DraftKings, it's free square day again because Travis d'Arnaud's 3K. I don't know why he was like 90% owned yesterday, and they only moved him up a couple $100. So I think you're playing him in cash. You can spend up in GPPs. You know, you have Real Muto, you have Yasmani Grandal, guys like that. I think that's always a good move in tournaments. And I don't really love the mid tier guys. I think it's probably d'Arnaud or spending up because I think even as a one off, you could use d'Arnaud just because he's so cheap.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's anyone that I would like drop down unless you're just like gonna pump Michael Perez. Like it is what it is. But I would probably just try to get to Darno. More or less the three that I'm looking at: JT or Remuto. I have no problems whatsoever with him. Danny Jansen at 3,900. He's hitting fifth, and anytime you can get a catcher that's up in the order, it makes sense to take him. And then Darno. I guess you could add Chance Cisco in there. He's leading off for Baltimore, which usually you don't get out of a catcher.
Yeah, I like Cisco leading off. I forgot to mention, but I do think that's a good play. First base, who's your top, just without anything, top overall first base play?
Just top of anyone.
Yeah, like who, if you could pick anyone, no salary cap, you could just pick whoever you want.
Probably Freddie Freeman.
Yeah,
Either
that's
or Cody
mine as well.
Bellinger.
Yeah, I think Freeman's probably the best play. Obviously, if you're double spending a pitcher like I am, it'll be kind of tough to get to him in cash games. I think Rhys Hoskins is a great play as well. Rhys Hoskins is significantly cheaper on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings. So you can easily play Rhys Hoskins in cash on FanDuel. DK, I don't know if I'll be able to get that high. The guy I was kind of looking at is Mitch Moreland. I know you like Eflin a little bit, but the one thing he struggles with is lefties, and Moreland does have power. And it feels like anytime I don't play Mitch Moreland, he homers. So I'm just gonna bring the mush in and play him. So he's not gonna homer tonight, but I'm gonna have him in my lineup. So
You got to do what you got to do. Just make sure you let me know. I won't play him, and then we'll be good to go.
yeah, it's honestly like there's those slates like because Boston gets ownership a lot, right? Just because their name and they've been relatively cheap. So whenever they get these bad righties, like they always get ownership. And there's always those slates where I'm thinking about, man, I should probably play Mitch Moreland. He's gonna get some ownership. He's cheap. and I never play him, and it's like every time I don't play him, he hits a home run, and then I'll play him, and he like goes over 4. He's like the MLB version of Donovan Mitchell for me.
So I love Donovan Mitchell, first off. Second, should we just talk about Pete Alonso trolling everyone yesterday? They move him down in the lineup.
Yeah, double dong.
Yeah, he's hitting sixth again. I don't understand it. Like, what's going through their minds right now?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they were trying to motivate him. You know how like the old like baseball things
Yeah,
go.
but he was hitting like 300.
Yeah, but I I don't know. I don't know what they're doing honestly. If you want to be honest, but the other guy I like at first, G-Man Choi. So who do you like in cash, Moreland or G-Man Choi? If you're picking one of those two,
Oh man.
G-Man Choi is 3,300, dude. I know Tanaka's not bad, but he still can give up power to lefties.
Yeah, I'd probably go Choi because you're kind of paying for the same thing. Like Moreland's not good. You're just kind of like hoping that he gets a big hit, and Choi's just significantly like what almost 1,000 cheaper. Like imagine moving 1,000 at a different position.
Yeah, that's true. I will mention Eric Thames is 3,800. He finally homered last night, of course, off of Tukey after I mentioned to you that he had not hit a home run yet this season. But Tomlin doesn't. I think he made some pretty drastic pitch mix changes, so I don't think he is going to be quite as bad as he used to be. But still, not someone I'm scared of targeting. And then the last guy I'll mention at first, Evan White's 2,600 on DraftKings. Evan White is really good. He's a really good hitter. His advanced stuff has all been there all season. He was getting extremely unlucky. I remember watching countless Mariners games early on this season. He was hitting dead rockets off the bat straight at people, and he's finally started to see some of that positive regression. Had a really big game last night with 2 home runs, and he just shouldn't be this price ever. He's a way better hitter than this price. So I think you can use Evan White, honestly, in all formats if you want to.
For anyone listening that's thinking how much time and how much effort goes into the thought process behind the cores and stuff. Ben just said he has watched countless Mariners games.
I have, dude. Frosty is if Frosty's in chat. If Frosty's in chat, he can attest that I watch like countless hours of baseball. So.
Oh, I'm fine with the countless hours of baseball.
Yeah, but I watch all baseball. I don't even care. I don't even care.
No, I don't actually think the Mariners have even been that bad.
Yeah,
and they're probably fun to watch.
I just fire up at bat and I'll just watch anything. I don't care. But they always play late at night, so there's only a couple games going on. And I'm a big fan of Evan White. One of my good friends played against him in back in the day, so we've kind of been talking about him for a while. But yeah, he's actually really good. Second base, I'll let you start off at second.
I don't even, to be 100% honest, I don't even know where I'm going here. Max Muncy is hitting 7th in the order. Like, if he was hitting 5th, I would be all in because people don't like playing lefty-lefty, but he hits lefties very well. Biggio and Hernandez are up there. I'm fine with either one leading off. They're 52 and 4,700, though. So, I mean, I don't know. If you want to take your shot on like Brandon Drury, he's only 2,700 and gets the matchup against Wade LeBlanc. Outside of that, you can drop down to 2,300 with Luis Garcia, who, dominated Tukey in his first at bat yesterday. But I mean, this just isn't a position where I really like anyone, and I feel like either I'm going to use someone in a stack here, or I'm more or less just going to have it be like the last person I fill out in my lineup.
Yeah, I think Garcia and Drury both are playable in cash games at their prices. I love Max Muncy in tournaments. People are not going to want to use the lefties from the Dodgers because they're up against the lefty. I would not worry about that. So that just makes me want to use Muncy more. I think he's a really good play. Biggio I like as well, but 5,200 I would just play Muncy, I think, if I was picking one of them. But I'll probably save here in cash games. Third base.
I guess he's been real good.
Did he hit 2 last night or just 1?
Cano hit 2.
Yeah, the Mets freaking popped off last night, dude. Yeah, I think Cano's fine. I don't know a ton about this This kid, he's making a jump. I think he's coming all the way from single A. Honestly, I don't even think he got to double A yet. So
I can chip. Imagine if he imagine not even through double A. No, he was at high A.
yeah, so I don't have any problems using some Mets today. Third base, I'm a huge fan. Frosty knows I've been talking about Tariq Skubal for like 2 years. I really like him, but Yohan Moncada, I think, is probably my favorite play here just because I don't like the Indians in Pittsburgh. I hate stacking in that park. It's just never like that good of a move, I feel like. And Turner, I think Justin Turner's fine, but if they like, you really want to play Justin Turner against a lefty. So once it gets to the bullpen, like you need him to hit a home run in one of his first couple of bats because you don't know if you're going to see a lefty out of the bullpen, right? So I really like Moncada at 4,700. And I think the clear cash game plays Rafael Devers at 4,400. Lefty, obviously, against Eflin. He's going to be massive chalk. I wrote him up in my article. I think that's probably where you go in cash.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm more on Turner than you. Like anytime he gets a lefty, I'll throw something at it because like I don't even think he's that bad against righties. You usually want him against lefties. Outside of that, Jeff McNeil's price up to 48, which isn't too bad. And I mean, that's more or less where I'm at. I feel like even though I really like Eflin, and if I throw Eflin tonight, I'm not gonna use Devers against him. But I'm at 4,400. Like I don't know how you don't use him if you're not using Eflin as your pitcher too.
Yeah, no, I wasn't saying that I don't like Turner. I just want to clear that up. I think Turner's a great play. It's just if I was picking between him and Moncada, I think I would take Moncada today, unless I'm stacking the Dodgers. But yeah, I mean, Justin Turner is one of the best hitters in the league against lefties, so not a bad play at all. Is there anyone overly cheap? I haven't really looked. You could use Drury at third base as well on DK, so I guess you could look at him.
Alec Bohm is only 3,000. He's up to 6.
Yeah, Alec Boehm's a really good play as well. I like that call. 3K. I'll continue to ride him while he's cheap because he's not going to be that cheap for long. Shortstop. I don't know. I can't remember who I had here. I made like every day when we get on the stream, I make like an early cash game build before we hop on here. I can't remember who I had. I think Tim Anderson against a lefty again, I think is in play. 4,700. Jonathan VR at 4,300, I think is always playable for me, but I don't know. Is Kike Hernandez where you can go 3,600?
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think he's fine. I don't know. It's tough to really trust him, but again, the lefty, I just think that he's hitting 8th. Like if he was leading off, all in.
Yeah, I do like when he's higher up in the order a little bit, but
just tough. I mean, are you not going Corey Seager?
yeah, dude, I wrote Corey Seager up yesterday. He homered. He was the lowest owned Dodger again, like every single time. He's low owned when they play at righty. No one's gonna play him lefty on lefty.
Yeah, it's crazy. What about who would you rather play? That's impressed, but Hernandez or JP Crawford?
I would probably play Hernandez. I know like he's such a pinch hit risk, but I just feel a little bit better about him.
That's fair. I feel like that would be a toss up for me. Just because Crawford's leading off, like in an extra at bat, that does a lot for fantasy purposes anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a ton of interest in the Cubs today, but Javi Baez at what, 4,300? That's kind of sticking out to me. I mean, anytime you can get a hitter of the quality of Javi Baez, I think at that price, that's kind of like the same situation as Devers, right? Like you're just like, that's way too cheap.
Yep.
All right, we'll finish up at outfield. I think the first guy for cash you're putting in here is Alex Verdugo. Extremely cheap, obviously fitting with the lefties against Eflin. If you're spending up, you have Mookie Betts, 6,100 against the lefty. Juan Soto, 5,900. Cody Bellinger, Bryce Harper. All those guys are fine plays. If you had to pick one, I think you would go with Soto, personally, if I had to guess for you.
Yeah, I think so. I would have it between Probably between Mookie and Soto. I do really like Harper, though. I don't know. They're all. I don't have an issue with any of them, but I think if I'm absolutely choosing one, I think it would probably be Juan Soto.
Yeah, I don't know. It's between him and Mookie. It's tough. It's just tough to get that much like on a slate where you're double spending it. Pitcher. I don't know how if I can get to 59 or 6,100 for an outfielder. It's gonna be tough, but they're both really strong plays. One guy I like in tournaments, Anthony Santander, 4,300. This guy is unbelievable. I know you're a fan of his as well.
Yeah, I played him yesterday. He was one of my fill-ins, and I mean, he's just so good, and it seems like no one even knows who he is. So I played him in what was supposed to be a tough matchup yesterday. Like I'll play him basically against anyone.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Verdugo's 3,400. I don't see like I don't really want to play Adam Eaton. Adam Eaton's 3K though, man. That's cheap. He has not looked right to me just watching him bat, but that's so cheap.
I just don't like playing him. He doesn't do anything ever.
I know. I don't. I'm not a fan. Like when you watch him bat, he just doesn't look like he's all there. But that's just so cheap, dude. 3K.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it.
I mean, Chris Taylor 3,200. I think is probably going to be a pretty chalky play as well.
I wouldn't mind that. I would try to get it for like AJ Pollock. It is, what 3,900 or something, ridiculously cheap.
Yeah,
3,900.
Is he
He's
batting
hitting
cleanup?
4.
Yeah, that's a really good play. Him and Taylor both. I could see playing Pollock, Taylor, and Verdugo in cash games.
Yeah, I would have. I don't think I would have any issues with that really, because there's other outfielders. Like obviously, I would rather spend up, but if you're spending up a pitching, you have to go cheap somewhere, and like all three of those guys would be normal plays, even if they were like 5,000 each. So like, why not take them at a discount?
I agree. Thank you guys very much for watching the stream today. We really appreciate it. Be sure to check out Superdraft. You can head over to superdraft.io, use promo code KARMA, get you a $10 deposit bonus on your first deposit. And be sure to check out dfskarma.com for all of our free content. And if you're interested in purchasing some core plays, the premium subscriptions, I would get in now before NFL. I mean, we've been doing really good with baseball. Anthony's been on an absolute heater, 200K plus over the last 2 weeks between PGA and MLB. So obviously you get access to the Discord as well, which is really what the people want. Before we head out, Bales, give me your home run call for tonight.
Oh man, I will go with Danny Jansen.
Okay. You like to pick catchers, I've noticed
I
a
love
trend.
it taking. I always take catchers as my home run calls.
Yeah, you like to take catchers.
Well, if you get a home run out of your catcher, you're probably winning the night.
That's true. I'm gonna go with Mitch Moreland just to troll you.
Oh,
So
yeah. Listen, when Eflin throws a no-hitter with 27 strikeouts tonight, I don't want to hear it.
It's Mitch Moreland's season. But all right, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We'll be back with a baseball stream, and we will see you guys then.